In a small village in Nigeria, there lived a girl named Adora. She was 17 years old, tall and beautiful, but she had one problem. She was stubborn and disrespectful. She never listened to anyone, not even her mother. She rolled her eyes when elders spoke and always had sharp words to say. "Who are they to tell me what to do?" she would say. "They are old, slow, and weak. I am young and strong." One evening, Adaora's mother called her. "Adaora, go to the stream and fetch water before it gets dark." Adaora groaned. "Why must I do everything in this house?" But she picked up her clay pot and left, grumbling the whole way. The path to the stream was quiet, with tall trees standing like silent guards. The sun was almost setting, and the air was cool. As she walked, she saw an old woman sitting by the side of the road. The woman looked tired, her wrapper dusty and her hands shaking. "Young girl," the old woman called, "please help me carry this small basket to the other side of the stream. My legs are weak, and I cannot walk far." Adaora laughed and folded her arms. "Are you not ashamed? You are old and useless. Why should I help you? You should stay in your hut and stop disturbing young people like me." The old woman stared at her, her eyes dark and unreadable. "You have a sharp tongue, my child, but you do not know that life has a way of humbling the proud," Adaora hissed. "Whatever, I don't have time for riddles." She turned to leave. The old woman's voice rose. "Since you think you are stronger than everyone, let me see how strong you are when you wake up tomorrow. Your hair will turn gray, nightmares will hunt you, and your only way out will be to venture into the forbidden lands, where your fate will be tested. Solve puzzles, do acts of kindness, and maybe, just maybe, the curse will be lifted." Adaora laughed louder this time. "You are crazy, old woman." And with that she walked away, shaking her head. When Adaora woke up, something felt strange. Her head felt heavy. She rubbed her eyes and sat up and screamed. Her hair, which used to be black and short, was now long, silver gray, and sweeping the floor. It looked like the hair of an old woman. She jumped from her mat, but her hair followed her, dragging behind her like a heavy snake. She ran outside, breathless. "Mama! Mama!" Her mother rushed out of the kitchen. "Adaora! What is it?" She stopped, eyes wide with shock. "Chineke! What happened to your hair?" "I don't know! I don't know!" Adaora cried. "I just woke up like this." The villagers gathered, whispering and pointing at her. "Is she a witch? Did she offend the gods?" Then a deep voice spoke. It was Papa Uchenna, the oldest man in the village. "Adaora, did you meet anyone strange yesterday?" Adaora swallowed hard. "There was an old woman. She asked for help, but I refused." The villagers gasped. "That was no ordinary woman," Papa Uchenna said. "She was a spirit in disguise. And you insulted her?" Adaora's heart pounded. "What do I do?" she asked, panicked. Papa Uchenna sighed. "There is only one way. You must go into the forbidden lands. There you will face tests. If you fail, the curse will remain forever. If you pass, you will be free." Adaora's knees went weak. The forbidden lands? No one went there. It was said to be filled with spirits, wild beasts, and things worse than nightmares. "But I can't," she whispered. "Then live with your cursed hair forever," Papa Uchenna said. Adaora touched her hair. It was too heavy, too long. She had no choice. She took a deep breath. "I will go." The villagers gathered at the edge of the forest to watch her go. Her mother wiped her eyes. "Adaora, please, be careful." Adaora nodded, fear curling in her stomach like a snake. She stepped into the forbidden lands. The air changed immediately. It was colder, thicker. The trees whispered. The wind howled. Shadows moved even though no one was there. Adaora walked slowly, her cursed hair dragging behind her. Then she heard it. A voice. She turned. There was a small child trapped under a fallen tree branch. The child's eyes were wide with fear. "Help me, please," the child whimpered. Adaora almost ignored him, but then she remembered. "Do acts of kindness. With great effort, she lifted the branch and pulled the child free. He smiled. "Thank you," he said, before vanishing into thin air. Adaora gasped. This place is not normal, she thought. She continued walking, her heart pounding. Then she reached a clearing. There was a huge wooden door standing in the middle of the forest. Words were carved into it. "Only the wise may enter. Solve this riddle or remain outside forever." Adaora took a deep breath. The words shifted before her eyes, forming a question. "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Adaora frowned. Cities, but no houses? Mountains, but no trees? Water, but no fish? She thought hard. Then suddenly, she knew. "A map!" she shouted. The door creaked open. Adaora's heart raced as she stepped inside, deeper into the unknown. Adaora stepped through the door and found herself in a place unlike anything she had ever seen. The sky was a deep shade of purple, and the air shimmered like heat rising from a fire. Strange trees with silver leaves stood tall, and their branches twisted as if they were alive. The ground was soft beneath her feet, and in the distance she heard the sound of drumming. It was slow and steady, like a heartbeat. She swallowed hard. "I must keep going." Her cursed hair dragged behind her, heavy and long. She gritted her teeth and pushed forward. After walking for what felt like hours, Adaora arrived at a river. The water was black and still, like oil. There was only one way across, a narrow wooden bridge. But standing at the entrance of the bridge was a man with no face. His body was wrapped in dark cloth, and where his face should be, there was only emptiness. "To cross, you must make a choice," the faceless man said in a deep, hollow voice. Adaora took a step back. What choice? The man lifted two hands, each holding something different. In one hand, he held a golden plate filled with food, jollof rice, fried plantain, and soft, steaming meat. The smell made Adaora's stomach growl. In the other hand, he held a small wooden bowl with clear water. "Choose," the faceless man said. Adaora frowned. This must be another test. She thought back to what the village elders used to say. Greed blinds the foolish, but wisdom feeds the soul. She clenched her fists. "I choose the water," she said. The faceless man nodded. "You have chosen well." The golden plate disappeared, and the water in the wooden bowl began to glow. It floated into the air and poured itself over Adaora's feet. Suddenly, the bridge widened and strengthened, no longer shaky. She took a deep breath and crossed safely. As soon as she stepped off the bridge, she heard whispers. "She is learning, but will she survive?" Adaora spun around, but no one was there. Her heart pounded. She was being watched. She continued walking until she reached a wide, empty field. The moon above was too bright, making the shadows on the ground long and strange. Then, the shadows moved. 3 dark figures rose from the ground, shifting and twisting like smoke. Adaora froze. "Who are you?" she demanded. The tallest shadow laughed. "We are the ones who will test your heart." The second shadow hissed. "We ask 3 questions. Answer wisely, or your curse will become worse." The third shadow's voice was like dry leaves. "If you fail, your hair will never stop growing. It will choke you in your sleep, wrap around your neck, and drag you into darkness forever." Adaora's blood ran cold. I must win. I must escape this curse. The first shadow glided closer. "Here is your first question. What is greater than the gods, more evil than the devil? The poor have it, and if the rich eat it, they die." Will Adaora be able to solve all the challenges that lies ahead and lift her curse? Find out in part 2 of this story loading soon. Please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and share. Also, which country are you watching from? Could you be kind enough to drop the answer to the last riddle in the comments? Thank you for watching. Bye.